We just covered the things that I do like about this GameStop grading service, but what are the things that I don't like? So the first one, I think, for me, is that GameStop as an entire whole company is not doing so well financially overall. I think that this is a very interesting way for GameStop to kind of start grasping at straws, to stay relevant and keep having people talk about GameStop more and more in the public domain, right? So I can give you a great example just for myself. I haven't talked about GameStop this much probably since I was in high school. Like when I was, submitting to get pre-orders from GameStop, like calling them like Modern Warfare 2 or Halo 3, right? I've thought about it in years. But now I'm hearing about it from the collector space more than I ever have. So are these to kind of keep them in like light? Probably, right? Additionally, so another thing I don't really, I think kind of, I feel it's kind of odd is, it really wasn't that long ago that GameStop was offering to buy trading cards graded, right? So it seems like unless they're doing better than they thought, but depending on what their perceived trajectory was, I would feel it probably want to have this get more fine-tuned, because I've heard numerous times of like, cards being mispriced or cards being like severely undervalued, overvalued, on like some weird GameStop algorithm on like, something that's like, oh, like they would never offer me, the max percentage for this card, but then they do, or vice versa, stuff like that. So I'm not really sure, like that program being like new, you're now introducing an entirely different part of that process. Like, yes, they've like linked together that flow that goes from you submitting to them your raw card, they grade it for you, and so there's kind of this like big flow. I just don't know how they can kind of keep all that organized, right? So it just seems interesting to me that they're throwing so many things at these GameStop employees who are not like, it's like some of them, like the customers that come in know about the thing before the GameStop employees do, right? So that to me, which kind of leads me to a thing that I've just been seeing a lot of people say in the chat, which is, you're having someone who just got trained yesterday handle your Gia V alt art from Silver Tempest or something, right? So the question is like, do you want that employee to handle you want to try to say 10, and obviously if you guys are here for greater, right, like the smallest white dot make or break a card getting a 10, right? And so are they going to take care of the card like you want them to? Because the moment you get like, yeah, you're putting it in the sleeve, yeah, you're doing that part, like, you're giving it to them, right? So you got to kind of put that into consideration too. And then again, going back to kind of the shakiness of GameStop, what happens if they go out of business and they have cards out, like fast forward a year and they're still doing this and they start to go out of business? Like what happens to your cards that are no longer in your pin, right? Because obviously PSA is not going anywhere anytime soon, but GameStop, that could be a very good possibility, right? But other than that, those are really like kind of the big things that I think just from GameStop's perspective, I think their big goal is to try to people that come physically to their stores to sell the plushies, to sell the stuff like non-game related, right? Because everything's kind of going digital and all. So the fact, for example, that them buying graded cards, I thought that was going to do so well because it was all going to be in store, right? Like a kid who's never bought a PSA slab, they can go into a store and buy that PSA 10 Pikachu from Vivid Voltage or whatever, right? But they're not selling them in stores. They're selling them all online. So at that point, it's like, well, why do I care? Why don't I just buy them from eBay, or why do I buy them off Marketplace? Like, what's the difference at that point? Why am I buying them? Like, why am I buying them all online anyway. Like, why would I want to go to GameStop online? Why am I buying them? Like, why am I buying them all online anyway? Like, why would I want to go to GameStop online? Like, the point is for me to buy them in store for that accessibility, that ease of use, that just and I don't know how that's gonna work for the, like, you just drop the card off, like, cool, like, there you go. And it just, I don't know, it just seems odd, because I also don't know, it's more of, I think this part is, I can't really speak about it because I don't know what the process is fully. Make your card, like, how can you really treat it from the PSA's perspective, right? Because, like, how do they tell you, like, the certain number that's even your card, stuff like that. So one of these I probably might, but anyway, sense on, you know, I think overall, I think it's a good barrier, like a ring of the barrier of entry, kind of like cards that you know, you pull a chase out of a pack, right? Submit it, see what happens, kind of thing. Pay $25 to not get the Collectors Club membership. You just go to GameStop.